Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program, no matter where in the world you are today. The 5 stages of women crashing out on dating. You could call it the 5 stages of grief. As you know, women start the dating ritual. That is to say, men traditionally ask women out. But with dating online and swiping on apps and everything, women are kind of the ones that initiate it now because they have to accept you as a person to even bother looking your way. And with dating apps, it doesn't matter if you have great personality or you're funny or you're interesting, it all boils down to looks. So a lot of guys don't even get to enter the dating world anymore. They're stopped right at the beginning. And even though both men and women kind of go through these grieving stages of which are, well, here's the classic ones. Actually, I made note of them. Denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance. Even though men go through the stages as well, they do it much differently than women do. And women are now finding out that at the end of the relationship, at the end of the rainbow, there's no men waiting for them anymore. This is because usually women are the ones that accept a date. Women are the ones that will accept, sex and having fun in the bedroom. And then they make themselves so wonderful and so loving and so amazing to men that we decide to have a long-term relationship with them, move in with them, marry them, and have kids. But what if the beginning never starts? What if they just don't accept you and you're not having any entrance into the game or the dating world? Well, we both go through the stages, but at the end of it, women are now finding out there's no men left. There's lots of men that'll start the dance with them, that'll hook up with them, that'll maybe get a bite to eat, but at the end of the day, the women aren't being kept. The difference between men and women in this situation is kind of this. This is the best way I've been able to think of it while I've had this on my mind, this topic. Is men in the dating world, it's kind of like getting on a roller coaster, which is you decide to date. And so you go out there and try it. It doesn't work out. For men, it's kind of like getting on a roller coaster and it ends up going off the rails and crashing. Now, you can say to yourself, man, I wish I hadn't got on the roller coaster, but the roller coaster crashing isn't your fault. You getting injured isn't your fault. You having all these problems, it's not your fault. You just got on the coaster and what happened to the coaster wasn't your doing. It just did it. Where dating for women is like them getting in a car and they decide to run a red light and they decide, as a matter of fact, they go past all the red lights, all the red waving flags, and they decide to crash straight into the brick wall. The result is the same. We both crash out, right? Nobody's happy about the dating situation. But the difference is women are doing it to themselves where men are receiving the results of women's actions. And I think, believe it or not, that has a huge difference because at the end of the day, women have to live with their own bad decisions. Women have to live with the consequences of their own actions, where men are kind of saying, none of this is in my control. I've done my best. I'm trying to date. I dress nicely. I try to be a successful guy, but it's all out of my control. So they can sleep a lot better at night. Well, I want to go down through the 5 stages of grieving because it's actually the 5 stages of what all of us are going through in the dating world. And we could break it down even further, but I think these are the basic ones. And I've got what the women go through and the men go through, and I think you'll find that kind of interesting. Before we get into the main story, let's talk about today's sponsor from Black Forest Supplement, Longevity Mix Coffee. I just found something wild about coffee. Studies have been done to show that within just over an hour, regular coffee made people's arteries go rock hard, like copper pipes. When your arteries harden, you can't do the things you used to do. Mountain biking, running, pickleball. You got to soften them up. You want to make them pliable, rubbery, youthful. Well, scientists gave some old mice NMN for 12 weeks, and their rock-hard arteries became elastic again. It was a 60% reversal. Not better, reversed. It's like 60-year-old arteries became 25 again. This was published in a Cell journal. It activates enos, which makes nitric oxide. Your blood cells literally get younger. Here's Professor David Sinclair from the Center for the Biology of Aging at Harvard Medical School talking about it.
Of the people that I know that look freakishly and unusually young for their age, that I have met in, say, the last 36 months, I cannot get over how many of them have told me that I'm on NAD and I'm on metformin. And I'm talking about everywhere from a gym to a golf course to a business meeting. And I'm talking about visually, shockingly looking young people, mainly people in their 50s that look like they could be in their 30s or early 40s to me. So when you say NAD, do you believe in the IV therapy? Do you believe in the stuff you can inject with subcutaneously? Or are you speaking specifically about this precursor that you were referencing?
Well, what I believe doesn't so much matter, but the scientific evidence points to taking a supplement every day, a gram of NMN, which is this precursor, stands for nicotinamide mononucleotide for the aficionados. Just swallowing one of those, or 1,000 milligrams, is enough to double your innate.
So you get up, you put your pants on, and you drive to pay $5+ for that shitty-ass coffee that hardens your arteries. Let me show you what you should actually be doing instead. Introducing the world's first longevity coffee. It's the only coffee that doesn't wreck your arteries. Instead, it helps them relax, boosts nitric oxide, and keeps you feeling young from the very first sip. It starts with NMN, the same molecule shown to restore arterial elasticity and reverses age-related stiffness, but it doesn't just stop there. Glutathione, the major antioxidant in your body, helps detoxify you from toxins in the air, your food, and the environment, the stuff that makes you age faster. There's vitamin D3 with K2. You never take one without the other. D3 moves calcium into your blood, but K2 tells it where to go, into your bones, not your arteries. Then there's TMG, the only legal compound that specifically targets fat metabolism. Magnesium glycinate, the most absorbable form of magnesium. This isn't one supplement, it's a 10-in-1 formula. You could buy all these separately and fill your counter with bottles and spend hundreds every month, or you could just drink this, longevity coffee. Delicious mocha roast packed with NMN, glutathione, TMG, magnesium, D3, K2, and more, all in one scoop. Real coffee, real science. 1 cup that makes your body younger from the inside out. And listen to this. This is launch day plus Black Friday deal. A whopping buy one, get one completely free for 48 hours only. It's only available for the next 48 hours, and it's the absolute best coffee you'll ever see. Black Forest isn't even making money on this. They just want people to try it and feel the difference. But after 48 hours, this deal is gone for good. So ditch that overpriced drive-through coffee you're paying $7 for every morning. This is 10 times cheaper, 10 times better, and actually helps you keep your arteries and your body youthful. You'll taste it, you'll feel it, and once you'll switch, you'll never go back. Click the link, grab your 48-hour launch special, and start drinking coffee that's actually good for you. Hit the link in the description or pinned comment, grab the deal while it lasts, and take control of your health before someone else does it for you. Discount codes and affiliate links below. Okay, so let's talk about the five stages of grief and the 5 ways that women are finally crashing out, realizing that they're destroying their own dating lives. Let's talk about denial first. Now, denial for women is just like this guy, gal, I said guy, kind of looks like a guy, linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, but it's actually a woman. Let's take it from this woman. This is denial, which is, I'm better than I am, I deserve more than I give, I'm an amazing, wonderful, lovely creature, and all men should submit to my amazingness. For those of you just listening, this is a gal. She looks to be mid-20s, roughly 350 pounds, full of attitude and go-get-em energy.
I just had a guy ask me out on a coffee date. I'm sorry, I don't drink coffee, but even if I did, I wouldn't go on the date because I feel like I'm more of an investment than a coffee date. I just think that that's very high school, and I don't like it. And when I try to explain in the nicest way that why I'm not interested, he's trying to give me other ideas that's basically on the same level as coffee. Like,
Do you know what she does that drives me crazy? At the end of the questions, she does the upswing. Like, oh my gosh, this is so terrible. Knock it off.
oh, let's go to ice cream. Let's go to a bakery. I'm not a sweets person, not a bakery person. I'm a lunch and dinner person. So take me out to lunch and dinner. He's like, oh, but what if we don't click? And then I spent all this money on an expensive dinner and, you're just going to walk away from my life. I never said it had to be an expensive dinner, but I like dinner. I don't like dessert. I am a high value woman.
We don't need to go any further. I think we get it. She is a high value woman. Well, when it comes to paying for dinner for her, I have a feeling this guy's like, look, this is going to set me back $250, $350. I'm not putting that much money into it. Cup of coffee, get to know you. Maybe if we can go for a walk in the park, I know that would tire you out. We'll put you in you can drive a little Walmart scooter, the little electronic scooter. You drive that through the park, I'll walk. The fact that she even got asked out on a date that just shows you how much different times are for men versus women. Because there's not a lot of guys that are tipping the scale at 350 that are having women come up and asking them out. And on top of that, the guy gets to be full of attitude and I am a high value man. You need to do better to get somebody like me. But this is kind of the denial that women are in. They think their value is more than it actually is. This is another example. Same thing. Another woman saying, I am such high value.
These men want you to meet them where they're at, which is in the pits of hell or at a local coffee shop. And I'm not doing it. I'm not interested. Also, a walk date is like beyond me. I'm not getting my 10K steps in with you, sir. I don't give a fuck to do that.
Fuck.
I view that as a low effort date. I don't want to meet a man that's showing low effort from the start. To me, that's out. I'm not
These women go into this like the man should already see their value, right? Again, which is denial of reality. They go into this thinking the man should see my value. Look at me. All right, you got a pretty smooth face. You got some Botox lips. Your hair is very nice. She has very nice hair. That's worth 75 cents. That doesn't have any value to a man because there are millions of women just like you that are entitled and pretty and have a couple of, good assets on them that we like to enjoy. You do kind of have to at least put yourself a little bit out there. But these women don't understand that just showing up and being pretty is not enough for a guy. Complete denial.
going to carve time out of my day when I could be hanging out by myself, something that's way more fun than hanging out with a man.
Hanging out by yourself is way more fun than hanging with a man. Then go ahead. Then guys don't want that.
Hanging out with family, hanging out with friends. To me, those are all way better options than to choose to carve out time for a man showing minimal effort from the jump.
So I guess they expect us to come right out of the gates for nobody, because she's a nobody for all of us. They expect us to come right out of the gates and go full tilt to try to win her love and affection. No, we're not doing that anymore. That is denial of reality. Because the guys that did that, the guys that go out and buy her really nice dinners, take her to lunch, take her to all these things, yeah, they end up getting ghosted. And they end up spending hundreds of dollars or, on several meals or several outings, and they get zero in return. Especially when a woman like this with attitude, right? So the denial is thinking that you're worth all the pain that you're going through. What's the equal denial on the men's side? Being blue-pilled. Now, these, I have some web pages with the words blue-pilled on here. It's more or less just a reminder of my so more or less of a reminder of my talking topics, because we know that nobody out there in most of the mainstream world gets any of our terms correct, because even here think it's a right-wing insult in political terms. No. But a blue-pilled guy is a guy that's in denial. He doesn't understand the way that women work today, which is you can do all the right things and say all the right things and be Mr. Wonderful. She'll leave you because you're boring. You can be a great guy, exciting. She's thrilled to be with you, but you don't make enough money. You make a lot of money and you're a great guy, but you're not that great looking. You're going to be a provider when she's 38, but not right now in her life. When you get married, she may take you for half of everything you've got. So anyway, the blue pill is men that are just denying women's nature, denying hypergamy, denying the way of the world. These are the people that while the women are saying we deserve more and we deserve better, these are the guys out there that are saying, bro, you're just not trying hard enough. Dude, it's because you're conservative or you're anti-feminist or you just don't understand women. You just got to try harder, bro. Both are in denial. Both are pretending they don't understand the way the world works. Well, women will find out and the men will find out that whatever they're expecting isn't going to happen. So at this stage, I'd say things are pretty similar. You're just ignorant of the way things are. So what's next on our list? Well, next is the bargaining phase. Now, I have fewer examples, but this one is just one example. I have two examples of the bargaining phase. Here's a woman trying to bargain against statistics. Now, if you're a man, we'll disagree on the shape of a woman, right? We'll disagree on the looks of a woman because we're men, and what we want is different than every other man out there, where women seem to universally want the same kind of man. But we can universally agree, young, pretty to our standards, and I'd like her to be the prettiest person to my standards there is. That might be being a supermodel, right? Just as an example. So any guy you ask him to say, okay, pick your ideal woman. Guy'd say, okay, supermodel, 23-year-old Erica Elenick, whoever you like, right? And then guys quickly realize, okay, this isn't going to work out. I'm never going to achieve that type of woman. I need to lower my standards and come back down to reality. And in the end, for the long term, at least for marriage and for long-term dating, guys never get 100% of what they want. They never do. And they realize that. And when you see the guys selecting and asking out a girl and flirting with a girl and getting her number, he realizes I'm making a sacrifice, but I think I'm willing to make the sacrifice from my tier A, triple A, S tier woman This is a B for me. I'm cool with that. Like, I could deal with this because of other qualities. Women don't do that at all. And that's where the bargaining phase starts falling apart for the women, is they will not bargain. They will not settle. Here's a woman trying to bargain and argue what the hell's wrong with the dating apps because she's already run out of men in Los Angeles.
So I paid for HingeX and I literally ran out of people on day one. I paid for whatever the most expensive Hinge membership is. I did 1 week and I'm pretty sure it's HingeX, but whatever the $25 a week one is, I paid for 1 week. I ran out of people in 1 day. I have only had the membership for 1 day and it's already saying, oops, we're out of people. Change your parameters. You know what my parameters are? My parameters are 6'2" and above, anywhere between age 29 and 34. And then I bumped it up to 35, ran out of people again. How is there no one between the ages of 29 and 35, 6'2" and above in LA? This is one of the biggest cities ever. I don't know if I'm just not attracted to the people that they're showing me. Like, they weren't cute. I'm going to be so honest. But I tried to give a few people a chance. I think I sent maybe 2 or 3 likes. 2 or 3 likes out of everyone, and I've already ran out of people. It's day one. I keep going back to the app. There's no more people. How?
Okay, so now you could say, well, she's also in denial. Yes, she is. You'll notice we're just adding things. We're not replacing things with the women. Most of the time, the guys replace things. Women are adding them. So yes, she's in denial, but she's also bargaining. Well, somebody actually did the math on this. Males age 29 to 35, divided by the total males, 6'2", and they took the percentage of total male population in Los Angeles between 29 and 35 who are 6'2" or taller. That's 0.824% or less than 1%, 0.8%. So that's 1% of men meet her criteria. But now she's arguing. Now she's trying to bargain and she's trying to wheel and deal. Well, I'll increase the age range a little bit. Maybe I'll drop it down to 6'1". But we know love is not a shopping list, right? I think all of us at some point in our lives as men have kind of first met somebody and said, she's not really my type. But it turns out she's awesome or funny or really interesting or really cool or really sexy or whatever. And we go, you know what? Maybe there might be something there. And in some of those instances, actually, after you get to date her and know her, you say, you know what? I know a lot of other people might not find her perfect for them, or they may give me a little ribbing because they think she's slightly below me, but I like her and I'm happy. Men naturally have to make this bargain if you're going to enter the dating world anyway, because women only date up and men by necessity must date down if there's going to be any hope of the relationship lasting. So what happens when this girl ages another 20 years older and she ends up being a lot older? This is a matchmaker and a client during an initial interview. And this gal, imagine, let's see, who would be a good person? I don't know. Imagine an anal library assistant without the glasses and not the pretty ones. A very mousy looking woman, actually, because she's somewhere in her 40s. Listen, this is 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Let me speed this up. 1 1/4 speed, just so you can still understand it. We got to get through this. Listen to the list. A 40-something who's already got the turkey neck going on below her chin. Listen to this list. This is the bargaining. I'm going to wheel and deal. Still doesn't happen. Then we'll get to the men bargaining.
Basically, I'm just very clear on what I want. There's a lot of boxes that need to be ticked. I know this man is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of finding him. 7-figure salary.
Right.
$1 million. Must have 7 figures.
Already said morning routine.
Yes.
That includes some sort of exercise
Mm-hmm.
with group accountability,
Mm-hmm.
as well as some sort of very high nutrition, I'm going to say smoothie. At least.
She's dictating what kind of breakfast he needs to like. A smoothie. He needs to have a healthy smoothie or I'm not into him. I got a button for that.
Really?
Oh, the delusion is real.
5'10". I feel like that's generous. I need him to be obviously in very good shape.
Mm-hmm.
I need him to have a full head of hair. That's very important to me.
Let me speed this up one more notch. We'll go to 1.5 speed because she's slow speaking here.
Okay.
Be a Christian, but not take it too seriously. Like, I don't want to have to go to church every Sunday, but I don't want to get in fights over religion either.
Sure. Of course.
I want him to have an impeccable wardrobe. I want his suits to be tailored.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to look good in greens and blues because those are complementary to what I look good in.
Right down to the clothing he can wear and the colors he can wear. Do you understand the delusion, right? This is the bargaining phase. We could call it this is denial of reality and bargaining phase, delusional phase, but there is no delusional phase in the 5 grieving stages of women killing dating. So
absolutely no jewelry.
Okay.
Absolutely no tattoos.
Okay.
Unless the only tattoo that would be acceptable would be a very small tattoo if he were in a secret society at an Ivy League university and was forced to get a tattoo that I would make a pass for.
She was forced.
I want him to be from a good family. I'll know what that means when I see it, or what more well said, I'll know what wouldn't satisfy that criteria when I see it.
Okay.
Never been married, no kids. I want to be his first wife. Our children are going to be his only children.
she's old enough she can't have kids anymore. I'm just, for those of you listening, there's no, I mean, I know it's a very small image, but she's got the wrinkles coming down her neck and everything. Like, you're no eggs, lady, no eggs.
Mm-hmm.
No allergies. Has to like animals. I would
No allergies. Talk about a bunch of things that are out of a man's control. No allergies.
prefer that he's a cat person, but if he's a dog person, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. How soon can you find the man?
Okay, so it's a little garbled up. She says, how soon can you find the man?
I think that's it. How soon can you find the man that satisfies this checklist?
The dating coach lady shakes her head and says, no, I'm not going to find this man. He doesn't exist. Her name is Kylene Rosenberg, is the dating coach. And she's like, no way does this work. Now you ask a 40-year-old guy, all right, what's your deal breakers? Well, she's got to be pretty. I got to find her sexy. She likes to, I don't know, give me the booty a couple times a week, She's fun to hang out with, won't cheat or lie. I think that's pretty much every man's entry point, unless you're a weird foot guy or armpit guy or something else that exists on the internet. So then they go through the bargaining phase, right? And I've got another one that's kind of bargaining or, as a matter of fact, I tossed this in. This isn't necessarily the dating world, but this is the bargaining phase. Listen to this lady. This is a boomer, and she's on a train. Now, we all know she supported feminism back in the day. She's obviously very liberal. She supported feminism back in the day, and now she has to bargain with young people to let her have a seat because she's old. Again, we're going through the bargaining stage all the way through life.
Old lady with osteoporosis who would like to have a seat.
Now, the reason why this sounds like ass is because there was train white noise going over top of the mic, and I didn't want you guys to hear all that. So she does sound kind of jacked up, but it's a good recording. I just scraped out all the subway noise.
Any takers? I'll give you everything in my pockets for a seat on.
Don't say that. You might have some money.
I'll give you money. I'm not asking for money. I'll pay you to get up off your seat. Not an old woman. Any Gen X, boomers, nobody. I got money. I will pay to have a seat.
How about millennials?
What?
Millennials.
Millennials, Gen X. Anybody?
Attention shoppers.
Earbuds out of your ears. I'm talking. Old lady.
So she's telling him to take the earbuds out. I'm talking to you. And not a man stands up. Nobody offers her a seat. Because we don't care. You wanted feminism. You wanted equality. Now you got it. You can't bargain your way back out of it. So again, it's the bargaining phase. Now, this doesn't have to happen at a certain age when it comes to dating, obviously. Younger is usually less bargaining, and that happens when you're older. But what is the bargaining phase for men? It's the pickup artist stuff. That's the phase of, you know what? I'm only 5'6", but I'm going to learn these games and these funny ways to interact with women, make them laugh. I'll be a little bit of a clown for them. I'll peacock and wear very interesting clothing. I'll buy a $3,000 watch. I'll put on a $500 pair of shoes because you know how women check out your shoes. I learn how to nag, and okay, that's bargaining. And again, sometimes it works. Sometimes the bargaining phase works for women. Sometimes the bargaining phase works for men, but you're making bargains. And in the long run, that never works out. Now, maybe if you're a guy, you can get laid out of it. So you get a little something out of your bargaining to try to make yourself more appealable. But overall, does it work? Not really. Not really. You may get out there and sleep around a little bit, but what's after the bargaining phase is the anger phase. Now, for some of you over on Locals, I know we discussed this video the other day, but we're going to discuss it again. We talked about it for just a minute. But if you listen to this video, she is crashing out. She's crashing out in anger because she is so frustrated in dating men. Now, there's one little thing she says in here that gives the whole thing away. But if you were to look at this woman, now for those of you just listening, she's slim. She doesn't have a huge rack on her or anything, but she's slim. She's not bad looking. I would say certainly an average looking woman. She's got pretty strawberry red hair. I know a lot of guys like that, and blue-green eyes. So she's I wouldn't call her striking, but she's unique looking. And certainly I don't know many guys that would be like, ew, no. So why is she crashing out in the dating market? Why is she so full of stage number 3, anger?
Guys are so lucky. You guys do not understand. So I'm 25, right? I'm sitting here and I'm having to build a fucking roster. I'm having to sit here and go out and do things I don't want to do. I don't want a roster. I don't want to go out and date. I don't like this hookup culture. I don't like any of it.
Why do you have a roster if you don't like the hookup culture? A roster is maybe I'm the old stupid guy here. I understand having a roster, and yeah, there were times I was dating a couple girls at once, just kind of getting to know them. It was in the very first stages, and then eventually you'll say, oh, I like this one better, or I don't like either one. When you have a roster, okay, now you're talking about a long list of guys you're dating, which means that you can't get serious about any of them. So that's a red flag right there. And she's 25 and she's already tired. I have a feeling she's had that back broken a few too many times, getting folded up like origami. And she finds out the guys don't want to stick around after they've had their way. They do the hardware store, we like to call it, screw, nut, and then bolt. And I think she's coming to the realization that that is her lot in life.
But I feel like I don't have a choice. Men, you guys just get to sit there and you guys can go wait until you're in your 30s, you're almost 40, and you can just go get with a girl that's in her fucking 20s and live a normal life. Girls don't have that luxury. I'm now sitting here at 25 having to figure out how to get back in these fucking streets so I can figure out, so 10 years down the line, I'm not sitting there single still with my daughter being an only child. Like, I want to have a family. I want to have kids. I want to be happy. Like, I want all of these things. But people don't want that nowadays.
You're 25 and you have a kid. You already have a child. I have a button for that. You can be angry all you want. It's too late for the guy that you want. So you went out there, you had your fun. Now it's too late. And now she's angry. Now, the thing is, she's angry at the men. She's jealous of the men. She says, you guys can go out there and get a woman in the 20s or in your 30s. Or excuse me, you guys can go get a woman in her 20s when you're in your 30s or 40s. Yes, they can if they are a top percentage guy. Notice she's saying all you guys have it so easy because she only sees the top 10 or 20% of men. All the other men are invisible to her, like all women. But she's crashing out. I'm going to play the rest of this here in a second. She's crashing out. But remember, I used the roller coaster ride, right? A guy gets on the roller coaster ride. It crashes. He's upset. He maybe got hurt. He might blame himself for getting on the roller coaster. But overall, you don't lose sleep at night saying it was my fault. Oh, I should have never gotten on that roller coaster. No, that's not what you do. But the women are driving 180 miles an hour through all the red lights, and eventually they sideswipe a semi, and that's what's keeping them up. That's why she's so angry, because all of the mistakes are directly her fault. She picked a loser. She slept with a loser without protection. She decided to have the kid, which is a good thing. Good for her for keeping it and not deleting it. I'll give her props for that. She kept the kid, and now she can't find anybody. Now, whose fault is it? 100% of it is hers. That's what's making them crash out. It's 100% her fault.
It feels it feels like no matter, it's like, what is this dating stuff? What is Hinge? What is Tinder? What is all of this? Like, it's disgusting. Like, my friends helped me make a Hinge and a Tinder, and it's like, I hated it. I hate it. I ended up deleting my Hinge, and I'm getting ready to delete the Tinder because it's just like I don't want to talk to anybody on there. Like, I don't want to do any of this. Like I'm just sitting there like a magazine going through like clothing. That's what it feels like. And it's like, I don't want that. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that at all.
Well, you know, you could have it would have been a lot easier to meet men in the real world if you didn't have a kid. Because here's the truth of it. If she's out with her kid, no guy's coming up to hit on her. Because either the guy's going to assume she's married or she's a single mom. Both are huge red flags. So no guy's going to go up and talk to her when she's with her kid. When can she be without her kid? Probably not very often. She's certainly not rolling out to the clubs anymore. Not that you would find a good guy out there. She probably doesn't belong to many social clubs or anything else. And the reason why she doesn't like the dating apps, I'm sure she gets a lot of guys that want to smash. But if she has on that dating app, she's a mother of one, that's how she'll end up being a mother too. She'll get smashed, but none of the guys will actually be with her long term. And this is the anger phase. Now, the anger phase usually comes with hating the way everything works, hating the dating world, hating the way that men treat you, hating the way that guys just smash, and then once they're done, they run away, and hating that you can't tie down a top 10 or 20%. That's the anger phase for women. And again, it's their own fault. If they just said to all men, look, unless we're in a serious relationship, like, I'm not sleeping with somebody. I want to get to know you. I want to see that you're a cool person. I want to realize we've got a lot in common. And then if we hit that stage and you say, okay, let's go a little bit further, that's when the sleeping happens. So it's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dates into the relationship. If you're trying to date seriously, is when you say, okay, you know what? I think I really like you. I get the vibe that you're willing to put time and effort into this. You know, we've had enough conversation. I have a feeling about your family, your background, how you were raised. Then you open the bedroom. But the women will not do that. They continually get it backwards because they're not dating men of their own level. That's how you date men of your own level. You try to do that as a woman to a top 10 or 20% guy, he's going to bounce. He's going to be like, look, I got a roster, just like her. I got a roster. I'm going to go slam this other side piece. I don't want to just sit around talking to you all day. And she will never lower her standards because that's, again, the denial phase that she still holds on to. And for men, of course, it's the red pill rage. I won't go down deep into the lore of red pill rage. All of you guys know it, but it's basically finding out how the real world works, how women really treat you if you're not a top 10 or 20%er, all the work you can do, the ways you sacrifice your happiness and your life and your money and your time, and women will still bounce on you in a heartbeat. We won't go into it, but that's men's anger phase, right? And then lastly, we have, or second to last, is the depression stage. Now, I played this video just in my last video, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But it's 1:11, and I will play it again because I think only 40 or 50,000 of you saw my last video, which is about half of normal, so half of you probably missed this one. She just admits, I'm the problem. I'm broken. I've had too many bodies. I've had too many dates. I've been used too many times. I've fried out my receptors, and now she's slipping into the dark place. We'll zip through this here real quick at 1.25 speed, I think.
I said I wouldn't talk about my dating life on here, but I feel like I cannot be the only one who feels alone in this. Just went on a first date, and this is no offense to this man, obviously. Perfectly fine, normal, lovely date. It's getting to the point, though, that that's the problem. Like, there's just nothing happening, and I just feel no sparks and no chemistry with people, and I feel bad because I feel like it's just me.
Now, for those of you listening, she's like a dirty brown hair or a dirty blonde brown hair. She's pretty. I think she's pretty. Some of you might disagree, but I think she does have a lot of makeup, and she's very, very well done up, right? The perfectly manicured eyebrows and all that stuff. But I think if most of us would see her out at a coffee shop or something and she smiled your way, you might be like, maybe I'll get her number. I think she'd fall into that.
Out with really handsome, accomplished, interesting people.
Let me play that part one more time.
Like, it's just me. I'm going out with really handsome, accomplished, interesting people, and I feel nothing.
She's fried out. If she only goes out with accomplished, good-looking people, she's a cog in the wheel. She's one number on his rotation, and it's happened to her over and over and over and over again. And instead of lowering her lowering her standards any. Now she's getting fried out to where it's not going to go anywhere. The most she'll get out of it, he might sleep with her, and there's no long-term reality in this for her.
I feel like I'm just another girl. Like I'm one of a million, and there's just.
Oh, I got a button for that.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Yes, you are just another girl. See, now when we go back to the denial phase, right? Like this woman, I am a high-value woman. I need this, and you need to do this, and you need to do this. This is where it starts. And where it ends is here. Now, this is almost to the acceptance phase, right? We're almost to the acceptance phase. But she's still a little bit in that, that sad phase. She's moving into it, the acceptance of her fate. Because you can hear it in her voice.
Just nothing special about me. Probably not presenting that great either. Not like that sparkly or interesting or like dynamic at all, because I'm just so depleted. I know my person's out there, but starting to really question if I even have it in me to find them anymore. I listened to Maisie Neely's book today, and through all of the hardships she had, she just kept going and kept dating and kept seeing people. And I admire people so much that have that in them, because I just don't have it in me. I thought I was safe and I thought I was done. And like having to do this again, it just feels like work every time I go on a date. It feels like so.
They made everything difficult. Women generally have made dating difficult. Now, it's not to say that guys don't make it difficult, but it's not your average guy making it difficult, because your average guy isn't given many, turns at bat. The average guy is not going up there and just swinging at pitch after pitch after pitch. Most guys don't get that many opportunities to date, and if they do, it's limited. And they definitely don't want to screw up. And then if they do, well, of course, then they'll be pretty sad about things. But the average number guy doesn't get that many at-bats anymore. So, he's not moping around saying, oh, I'm broken and there's nothing I can do, and, the world's so... That's usually the bargaining phase before the anger phase. Because once the anger phase happens in men, it's like a purging fire. It's like a purging fire. It purges out of their system. And yes, after that anger subsides, they're definitely going to be sad. Like, man, I'm never going to get a woman. And they may dip back to the denial phase, or maybe they bargain and say, well, let me try this pickup artist stuff, or let me try going to the gym or whatever. It's a flexible, but women seem to stay in it a lot longer. And again, women are the ones that can change their destiny. That's what makes this completely different between men and women. Women can change their destiny. If she lowers her standards by 10, 15, 20%, he would find a man that would worship her as a goddess because she's so beautiful to him. And maybe he doesn't make, 6.5 figures, meaning $150,000, $200,000 a year, but he might be the guy that's making, 60, 70, 80 grand a year. And he's willing to work overtime once you have kids so she can be a stay-at-home mom. Like, there are guys that would jump through hoops, but she'll never see them. And so on we go. This is another girl. Now we're moving into acceptance here a little bit, right? From the sadness to the acceptance. This is a woman that realizes her fate. Now, again, this had cringe music over it, so I had to run it through AI and strip the music out. She's very young. I'd say she's very pretty. She's very shapely, so she has a nice body from what I can tell. She's pretty, and she realizes now, here comes the acceptance phase.
You're so pretty. You can date any guy you want. Actually, I can sleep with any guy I want. Unfortunately, it's not the same.
Okay, so I know that's really hard to understand once I ripped out all the music. But she says, hey, people tell you you're really pretty. You can date whoever you want or anybody you want. She says, no, I can sleep with whoever I want. Unfortunately, it's not the same. And she's darn right. She's darn right. There are plenty of, I have a feeling if she was out, I don't know too many men, because again, she looks like she's got a pretty nice rack on her. I don't know too many men that would be like, ew, no, I would not sleep with a woman that looks like that. I think probably 95% of men would say, yo, I definitely sleep with her. So she's learned now that she can sleep with whoever she wants, but she can't date whoever she wants. And this falls back to the big problem of why the women are crashing out. They control the market, at least when it comes to dating in the bedroom. Women control that market. There are so few men that have all the opportunity. The men can be very selective on who they sleep with, who they decide to date long-term, and who they marry. Those men have all the choice. And who has the worst choice? The women. The women do, because they're just all vying for the same men. They're putting themselves out there. They're sleeping for the men, and then they get dumped. So They're not being chosen for the long term, and they're starting to realize this. Here's another gal saying the same thing. I think I got this on 1.25 speed. Again, women are starting to realize it.
I'm convinced that all the good men are either at home, at the gym, or at work. And the reason why all the women out there are saying, I can't find a good man, where are all the good men at? Yeah, you guys scared them off.
Yep. They scared them off, just like this stuff, right? These two women, I need this, I need this, I need this. They're gone, ladies, they're gone. I mean, they're dating, they're dating, like they're hooking up, they're sleeping around.
Boss babe, I can do it myself statements, and now they're focusing on themselves, ignoring women, living a peaceful life with a dog instead who actually loves and respects them.
Now, she's right. They're living in peace with some male friends and a dog that respects them. That's exactly what happens. As a matter of fact, we have a term for it, men going their own way. And that's the acceptance phase for men. I do have another video here I'll play, but the acceptance phase for men is men saying, okay, I get it. I understand the rules of the game. Now, maybe a guy still plays the game. Maybe a guy still dates. Maybe a guy still has a girlfriend. But he at least understands the rules. That someday she may come home and say, hypergamy struck today. I found a hotter guy in the gym, and I'm going to go sleep with him. Or I'm going to go bang him. Or I'm going to divorce you because you're boring. Or I found a new bad boy. Once you've truly reached the going your own way, it doesn't mean that you don't date. It doesn't mean that you don't. It just means that you understand the rules of the game. But for women, it's coming to terms with it like this. There we go. It's always nice to be able to take a sweatshirt off that quickly. Just a mere thought in my mind, and the sweatshirt disappears. This woman finally gets it. And this is really what sparked my whole idea for this video today, is this woman understands exactly what's going on in the dating world. But this is where these women run into the problem. Even knowing what they're doing, even knowing they're the problem, even knowing they've screwed things up, knowing everything they know, they can't help themselves. Thus, when everything goes south for her, she knows the only person she can blame is herself, but she can't help it. And actually, I will play this on 1.25 because I don't want to subject you to this all night. But this is what's going on in the world right now. Hypergamy, women being more successful, not finding enough good men to date, etc. She lays it all out. It's almost as if she listens to content like ours.
Dating is trash right now because the men are not doing well financially. And this is being reported on, yes, but I'm also speaking from like in the field. In the last 2 years, majority of the guys that I've met on dating apps have all been unhappy in their career to some varying degree. I would say like the finance guys all have expressed wanting to be making more money. And the blue collar and blue collar adjacent guys have all sort of expressed feeling like they've hit some like max capacity in the amount of money that they can make in their industry or their fields, and then wanting to do like a career pivot to correct for that, but then also suggesting like, well, let me go get a master's, and then incurring student loan debt on top of an already large amount of student loan debt, which personally I think is not a good idea. And then I just see it becoming this like vicious cycle. So like men are raised to believe that like they need to be the provider. And so if they're not where they want to be in their career, they're not where they want to be financially, then they don't feel that they can be providing. So they can't actually commit and settle down in a relationship, but they're still out there dating because they want the physical intimacy. Whereas women, like we're in the dating field looking for a relationship, and most women are making as much, if not more, than their male counterparts today. So we're out there actively looking, but then, you know, the men aren't actually available for a relationship because they're not where they want to be in their career or financially.
For those of you listening, she looks a little, just a tiny bit, like Sandra Bullock. Like she's pretty. And she reminds me a little bit of Sandra Bullock with a dimple in her chin. But her point is this, and we'll listen to the rest of it. But guys are mostly in the dating market to get their physical needs met. So she's admitting, hey, guys are out here just trying to hook up. Guys they're not worried about a long-term relationship. They're worried about making money, about grinding, about getting ahead. And when they're in the dating world, they realize, well, I know I could probably sleep with women because I'm decent looking, but I don't even make enough money for women to want to date me seriously. So I gotta keep grinding because women only want to date a man that's more successful. The guys realize what's going on, and they're just saying, all right, well, I'm going to use the dating apps to sleep with women. And other than that, I'm just going to keep making my bag and just trying to do better for myself.
And so then the women experience rejection, and the more rejection we experience, the less we want to be actively in the dating pool. And so we take ourselves out. And how are we ever going to like get together and procreate if like we are tapping out? And it's easy for women to tap out. I think a lot of us like find celibacy very peaceful. And so we bounce. But then like I'm out here and it's like the more I feel rejection and the more I get discouraged and I'm like, okay, like I'm really not meeting anybody who's on my level. Or I'm not meeting somebody who's like a good match for me. The more I get into the mindset of like, well, I'm a single person with a single income household. Like I need to do whatever I can to like set myself up financially to live in this world as a single person. And so then I work really hard on having my finances in order. And the more that I've got my finances in order and I've got my shit together, the harder it gets for me to find somebody who's on my level. Because now I'm just like continuing to outpace the guys that are in my age range. And so it's becoming this like impossible loop that I don't know how to get out of, because I'm also not really willing to like lower my standards or accept like disrespect or just like weird behavior. Like I don't have time for that, nor do I.
Okay, so she pretty much gives the game away right there. And this seems to be the treadmill that women and men are on right now. So the men are just out there on the dating apps, you know, saying, I need physical gratification. I'd like to sleep with women. Now, a lot of those women, like the other ones that we've seen with, like this gal here, when she says, oh, well, I can sleep with whoever I want, but I can't date whoever I want. This girl, with all the others, you know, all these other girls, because none of them are horrible, you know, horrid looking. They're all realizing, oh, guys are just sleeping with us. Okay, well, if guys are only sleeping with us and I can't get a better man for myself, I guess I need to pour my effort into work and I need to plan for my own financial future. So now I must compete with men for that promotion, for that raise, for that better position. And so women worried about their own futures are climbing the financial ladder and the job market ladder. And the higher they climb, the better they feel about their own personal space and how successful they're going to be for their future, but the less men that are above them on that ladder. And so the higher a woman climbs, the better she feels about her financial future, but the worse she has for her dating future. And even this woman says, I will not lower my standards. So she gets in the market. Guys sleep with her. They have a good time. And now that she's getting older, because she speaks like a very mature woman that's probably in her 30s, or an experienced woman, might I say, that lives in her 30s. Now that she's in her 30s, she says, okay, well, I had my fun. I slept with all the guys, but I can't find a man that's doing better than I am, nor one that wants to wife me up, that is good enough. Now I'm worried that I'm going to not have a good financial future. I climb the ladder. The group of men gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And ironically, the men are dating younger because the younger women see those 30-something men as doing better than them, right? But the 30-year-old women don't see those 30-year-old men doing better than them, and they don't want to date the 40 and 50-year-olds, and so they're running out of people. She sees all of it. She recognizes it. She knows what's happening, and she does zero about it except complain on the internet versus shifting her standards. But she's accepting at least what's going on, because if I did a video like this and women heard it, they say, well, you're a misogynistic, I don't know, guy going your own way simp or whatever, or not a simp. They wouldn't call me. They'd say you're a guy going your own way, a-hole, incel, whatever. But if a woman says it, well, we know it's right because that's the same thing we say, and she's living that experience.
I care to like entertain that. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm not saying it's like the guy's fault that they're not making the amount of money that they want to be making, or that like the amount of money that one would feel is enough to feel comfortable getting into a relationship and like being able to be a provider. Although I think most people, doesn't matter your gender, like most people are willing to argue at this point that like you don't need to be the complete breadwinner or provider or whatever. Like it's a little bit more 50-50, but regardless, if that's how they feel, then that's how they feel. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm not just saying it because I'm like theorizing, like this is what I am seeing in the guys that I'm meeting. And this is primarily on dating apps, but this is what's happening. And I don't know how we get out of it.
So she admits, she sees it. Women are racing along with men, trying to get the most money, trying to be the most successful. And because women are doing so well in the work world, men are becoming few and far between, or at least the men they want. And those guys are just interested in sleeping around. And when asked, what about a serious relationship? They say, I got student debt. I don't make enough money. The women I want, they seem to want somebody better than me. So I got to keep my nose to the grindstone. She sees it, but she's not unwilling to change it. So ironically, as men get to the final page As men get to the final end of theirs, a guy going his own way, I don't think there's any more denial. I'm not in denial. I know the way the world works. I think most of you do. There's no more bargaining. I'm not going to do the pickup crap. I'm not going to try to find a way. Now, I still think it's a good idea to be able to communicate and to be funny and interesting and have good conversation. But the pickup kind of game stuff is, it's not going to get you anywhere long run. You might be able to get laid. You might be able to get some dates out of it and have a good time, but it's not going to get you anywhere. The anger, the red pill rage, guys make it through there. They come out the other side, and sometimes they may slip back into purple pill or blue pill, but not usually. And then they go through their sad phase, and then there's just acceptance, which is kind of like, well, it is what it is. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. But what about the women? This woman is all the way back. She's now at the acceptance phase. She knows where she is. She knows what's going on. She's aware of the market. She knows what's up. Is she sad about it? Yeah, she sounds sad about it. Maybe not a full depression, but she sounds sad about it. Is she angry? Probably not. Sounds like she's not in that phase. Is she bargaining? A little bit. She's still trying to bargain her way into, how do I find a guy that's better than me and I won't lower my standards, and et cetera, et cetera. And she's still in denial because she won't lower her standards and change her way that she views the world. That's just where she is. So the end of the road is here. I won't play this one. This is another 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But this is a woman that's crying because she got a divorce. She thought she wanted it all, had it all, and she ended up getting a divorce. And it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds of her saying, women, don't do what I did. Women, choose better. Women, no matter how hard your life gets, if he's good to you and he loves you and he cares about you, don't throw him away. Keep him, because once you do, now I'm alone and now I'm sad and now I wish I hadn't. She's now accepting her fate of her bad choices, and that's what it all boils down to. Men don't make these choices. We're just along for the ride, and we try to figure it out as best we can. But just like the roller coaster, we didn't cause any crashes. It just happens to us. The women are causing the crashes. The women are having the problems. The women are the ones ultimately that when they start getting to the depression and the acceptance phase, they crash out even worse because they're the ones that made this all happen. All they had to do is change their standards a little bit, change their mindset, change their actions, change their body count. All they have to do is change, but they can't do that. So they're on a one-way road into a dead end. At the end of the day, though, it's on the women, not the men. Once again, guys, if you like my content over here, make sure to join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. We're going to watch a Bills game in just about an hour, which will be in the past for you guys because I've got to upload this. We've got UFC fight nights on Saturday. We do movies on Saturdays or Friday nights. And we even do TV shows. We've got classic, underrated, nostalgic television. We just did that last night. So we have a lot of fun. So come on over, check it out today. Again, it is just $5 a month. The landing page looks like that. Links are down below. Come on over, check it out. I think you'll be glad you did. And I'll see you guys in the next one.